Rock. It is 10:23 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you're watching this live, it's Thursday, July 21st. Overall crypto market cap sitting right around $1.02 trillion. Bitcoin has come down a little bit here in the past 24 hours. We can see that Bitcoin dominance is sitting at 42.2%. Its price reflecting 22,500 roughly speaking right about now, and ETH dominance sitting at 17.8%. ETH just below $1,500. As you can see, overall crypto market has come down just a little bit here in the past 36 hours, and we will see whether Bitcoin holds these various lines of support between 20,000 and 22,500. Just something that I thought I'd point out. On the 7-day, Matic is up over 37% right alongside Ethereum. Cosmos is up over 30%. Then Solana comes in at fourth place. Looking at the 30-day, Matic is up over 93%. Cosmos right below it at 53%. Ethereum at 26%. And then looking at the 60-day, Matic is the only altcoin in our list that is in the green. Cosmos is down 4%, and ETH is down a whopping 26%. But just putting some things into perspective, I thought I'd kind of highlight that. Cosmos, Matic, and Ethereum are like the three best performing altcoins in my portfolio right now. Just thought I'd point that out. Looking at the chart, we can see that a head and shoulders pattern kind of formed here on the hourly. We have the left shoulder right here. Bulls drove the price up, that formed kind of the neck area where the head would go. And then we came down, bulls drove the price up a bit more. That formed our right shoulder, and since then we've kind of been coming down consistently. Not to mention, this kind of peak almost perfectly coincided with European Central Bank's rate hike of 50 basis points or 0.5%, which happened roughly around 3 p.m. Central Standard Time yesterday. So make of that what you will. Could be some manipulation right there. The whales saw the opportunity to sell the Pico top, supposedly, or quote unquote, in this downtrend. This is kind of a top, or potentially a top, before we maybe go a little bit lower and then bounce up or something. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Anything you hear in these videos is just for entertainment and education purposes only. 1 minute chart. Bitcoin is really struggling to kind of keep this line of support right here that I kind of established not too long ago, like roughly, 2-3 hours ago. Looking at the daily chart, I still think we're forming some sort of bear flag. Maybe we trade between this range for the next few weeks, and then ultimately we go down back towards $15,000 Bitcoin. Some people are saying we're going as low as 10K, 5K. I don't know about that. I think 10 to 15K is a good guess, but I don't know. But yeah, like we discussed, European Central Bank raises rates by 0.5% in its first hike in 11 years. Again, that's pretty crazy. In 11 years, they haven't done a rate hike. Pretty crazy. In other news, Tesla sold 75% of its Bitcoin and holdings in Q2. Pretty wild. Elon admitted that it doesn't change the verdict on Bitcoin. It's still to be determined. And he said he just needed cash. So I can't necessarily blame the guy. Just in, Italy's Prime Minister Draghi has resigned. President to dissolve parliament. Pretty interesting. Boris Johnson actually just resigned I believe like a week ago or maybe like 2 weeks ago. Pretty interesting timing of all this stuff. In other news, tanks are being put on the streets in China to protect the banks. This is because the Henan branch of the Bank of China declaring that people's savings in their branch are now investment products and can't be withdrawn. So essentially, citizens have lost access to their funds and their money at this particular branch of the Bank of China. Which is a horrible thing, you know. That's why there's an increasing amount of people that are starting to look at crypto as kind of a way around the bank or a safer play than the bank because if you have your keys and you have your cold storage wallet, there's essentially nobody preventing you from using those funds at a later point in time, which is what scares the death to which scares the death um, the governments like China and these totalitarian governments. But interesting that the media never highlights some stuff on this. Like they always focus on the negative and the tragedies. They never focus on how there are instances where there's person that's vigilant and they basically take care of the shooter. Essentially they reprimand them or they take them out. I'm not saying that should always be the go-to solution, but it's kind of horrific when you see clips of certain law enforcement kind of waiting around using hand sanitizer, getting on their phone, playing a game or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of messed up. But, anyways, when you hear 22-year-old eliminated an active shooter by firing 10 shots and striking the bad guy 8 times while carrying a firearm under the new Indiana constitutional carry law in a gun-free zone. And that's the thing. The criminals don't abide by the same laws as you and me do. They see gun-free zone. They're like, all right, well, that's literally a green light for me to go in here and have easy access, easy targets that aren't going to fight back. I hate to put it like that, but that's kind of how the way it works. But new Biden says I and so damn many other people I grew up with have cancer because of oil pollution in his home state of Delaware. Sorry.
And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? It had to put on their windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why can't for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation. And guess
I don't know if that's true or not, but I will tell you, it kind of sounds like he's like, feel bad for me, blah, 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 even though he's been a career politician for 40 plus years. But, anyways, you have a comedian kind of.
But Biden came out as really sleepy, sweet grandpa. And he was like, he's always repeating this story, Yeah, I went to Scranton. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. My dad lost his job. No joke. I'm not kidding around here. No human being in the world thinks that's a joke. Nobody. Is anybody that lost his job? And then, my dad didn't even do the number thing. Number one, the one part. Number two, what the guy said. Number three, you know the drill. Come on. No, we don't. Now what he does is he kind of whispers and then he yells. If you know, I think it's a wonderful move. Don't you love it when he's like, we know how to get natural gas. Because we can get it. We know how to get it. That's what we do. We take the people that run the public, the pirates of the Caribbean.
Africa is underdeveloped. It's overexploited by Western corporations that have looted its immense wealth. One thing that I would add to this is not just Western corporations. Like I believe China has a Belt and Road Initiative where essentially they develop these countries more or less, but these countries get so much in the debt, and to the point where China essentially owns like a lot of the natural resources the within the country's borders and stuff like that. So just one little caveat: it's not just Western corporations; it's also Eastern interests, like maybe Russian with Saudi Arabia or something, or China with a lot of these other countries. Kind of nation building, kind of. Um, it's an equivalent to the Western hegemony. Could be the Eastern hegemony. You know who else opposed vaccine mandates? Hitler. Ridiculous. New Zealand has set a new high in COVID deaths and currently has one of the highest death rates in the world, despite a continued mask mandate, an exceptionally high jab and booster rate. Wonder why this isn't getting more media coverage, because it highlights how it's not really helping them, essentially, like they once claimed. One last thing: unleash the next crisis. Klaus Schwab and friends.
New story comes up, they're going to latch onto it. They've already announced in our office that once the public will be open to it, we're going to start focusing mainly on um, uh, climate, like global warming, and like that's going to be our next I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be our focus. Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
What does that look like?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's just going to be like constantly showing videos of like decline in ice and weather warming up and like the effects it's having on the economy and really
Who
talking
decides that?
head of the network, like just
Who's that? Is that Zucker?
Zucker. Yeah, I imagine that he's got his council and they've all like discussed like where they think
So that's like the next.
pandemic like story like that will beat to death. But that one's got longevity. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a definitive ending to the pandemic, or like it'll taper off to a point that it's not a problem anymore. Climate thing is going to take years, so they'll probably be able to milk that for quite a bit. So
So climate change overload.
be prepared. It's coming. Stories like right now, we had an inside track right now where two stories are going to be pushed. Climate change is going to be the next COVID thing to stand out. We're gonna hone it.
Focus on
I love it.
But that's a fair thing.
But to commit to that as a network.
You said it's going to be like the new COVID.
I'll leave you with that. Make of that what you will. Personally, it kind of disturbs me that news outlets are kind of pushing that agenda. I'm again not denying climate change, but that they're going to push it so hard that people will start freaking out about how many plastic bags I'm using or you're using, like kind of like the crime police, like, oh, let's lock him up because he's not being as green as he should be or whatever. I'm not, and I'm against littering and stuff like that, for the record. I'm not for littering. I'm heavily against it. But the fact that they're going to push this agenda, it's a little worrying, because we saw what happened with C-19. A lot of people will kind of more or less latch on to that fear mongering, kind of scold their friends and their neighbors for behaving particular ways. Not that some of the what's it called, criticisms aren't warranted, but if it's going to be like everyone's so anal about it, it's not going to be a good time. But anyways, I'll leave you with that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're watching over on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified when we go live next. Got links down below, so please use them. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day.